My name is Ken Dwyer. I'm a United States Army Special Forces officer, and I appreciate the opportunity this morning just to speak for a few minutes on my journey over the last 14 years and just share some things that I've learned about overcoming adversity. Back in 2006, on my third deployment to Afghanistan, I was injured by a blast from a rocket-propelled grenade. I lost my left eye and I lost my left hand, and I had some damage to my face and my neck and my torso and my other arm. But I was fortunate to have some amazing people with me who placed the value of their teammates' lives above the value of their own lives, and they were able to put me back together and get me back home where I could continue to be a father and continue to be a husband and also continue to serve in the United States military. And a lot of people, of course, told me I couldn't do that with one hand and one eye, but there were a lot of people who told me I could. My unit supported me, and my guys supported me, and you can overcome all things if you're creative enough and passionate enough about what you're doing. But certainly it takes effort. It takes struggle, but we can all grow through that struggle. When we face hard times, we can learn to be better because of it. But there are a couple of things that are required in order to grow through our struggle. And the first thing that I like to mention to people is that we have to surround ourselves with positive people and positive influences, because none of us can do it alone. It takes a team. Growing through adversity and struggle is a team sport that takes more than just one individual. You have to have that network around you of people that are willing to help you become the best version of yourself. And I had that in my family, and I had that in my unit, and my team, and all the guys around me. So for everybody in life who's going through struggles and adversity, because certainly we all face those things, we have to have that positive network of people out there. And my message to just a wider audience is all of our veterans who, no matter what situation they're in, whether they be transitioning from military service to civilian service, or continuing to serve, or facing some sort of struggle in their lives, it takes more than just that individual to succeed. They need assistance. They need help. And my message to all my brothers and sisters in arms out there is to don't go it alone. Understand that it's a sign of strength to reach out for help. I certainly, over the last 14 years since I was injured, have had to reach out multiple times in multiple ways to multiple people, because I didn't believe that I could make it at the time, but I had that network of people who, like I said before, allowed me to become the best version of myself, allowed me to stay in the military 14 years after being hurt, to continue to jump out of airplanes and to go back to Afghanistan with my unit, leading my men, and things that a lot of people believed couldn't be done. But we can all accomplish great things if we have a network of people around us that are going to help us succeed. So the first thing I would say is just surround yourself with positive people and be a positive influence on others, so that the people around you can become the best version of themselves. The second thing I would say is certainly, it's an easy thing to say, but it's really hard to do, and that's to find your own purpose in life and commit to living that purpose every single day. And in some of the dark moments over the last 14 years, I took some of those deep introspective looks into myself and determined that the reason that I want to be here, the reason that I want to be alive, is so that I can help enhance the lives of the people that I love. And when I say that, I mean, of course, my wife and my 2 kids. But even beyond that, it's every service member that I've ever worked with. And I want to do whatever I can to try to enhance their lives, to help them be better people, to help them be better soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, and coasties, and across the board, just to help everybody get to the point that they can be the best version of themselves. So that's what I strive for every day, is my purpose, but each individual needs to look and find their own and commit to living that every single day, because if we have that purpose in our lives, it's going to allow us to overcome and grow through adversity. So number one, it was surround yourself with positive people, and then be a positive influence to others. And number two is to find your purpose in life and commit to living that purpose every single day. And the last one I say, and it sounds kind of silly, but I think it's absolutely vital to being able to survive in life and to overcome adversity. But is to have a sense of humor in life and appreciate the things in life that can make us laugh and that can bring us together as people. And so I normally tell a quick story, and it's a little bit difficult when you're talking on camera and not live, because of course, you know, I've got a prosthetic arm. And so inside of my house, I've got a whole closet full of different arm parts that I have to change and fix and move depending on the situation. And I have this one hand that looks just like a regular hand. It's casted exactly off of my right hand, but it doesn't do anything, so I never wear it. I just kind of keep it off to the side. And my daughter took a liking to it, so she took that hand and she kept it in her room, mostly to mess with her friends, I think. But one day my wife comes in from grocery shopping, and she's got bags full of groceries, and I hear her as she comes in the door and she yells, "Julia, can I get a hand?" And then I look across the room and I see my daughter, who was 8 years old at the time. She starts to smile and she runs off to her room, and she runs back out of her room with that prosthetic fake hand, and she throws it at her mom and she goes, "Here you go, Mom, here's a hand." So I got up and I walked over to my daughter and I gave her the biggest hug in the entire world, and I said, "Julia, at the tender age of 8 years old, you've learned one of the things that's going to allow you to be successful in life and to overcome adversity. And please, please never lose the ability to have fun and have a sense of humor and appreciate things that can to bring us together as people and help us fight through difficult circumstances." So it's not easy when we face challenge, but it's something that can help us and make us grow as people. But it takes a team. It takes a village. It takes assets and resources from beyond just the military to help everybody get better. And certainly it's not just the military that has the stranglehold on adversity. We all suffer from it. It's just part of the human condition, but it can make us better people, and it can make us stronger. So I mentioned earlier I have a prosthetic eye, and it's, I'm sure, difficult to see over the webcam here on the computer, but inside of my left eye, my prosthetic eye, I actually have my Special Forces regimental crest embedded into my prosthetic as a tribute to all of my guys. And all of the great things that they've done, and it's a reminder to me of why I do what I do. It's for them. It's for the men on my left and my right. It's for my troops, so that I can do everything I can to make sure that they're prepared to meet the challenges that they face in life. So if just one last takeaway message for everybody out there is once again, overcoming adversity is a team sport. And it takes all of us to look out for each other, to make sure that we can all become the best versions of ourselves and grow through adversity. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak today, and God bless.
From the time I say Cam was maybe 5 months old, we knew it was something special about him. You know, he had this ability to just light up the room, and whoever came in contact with him was like, just loved him so much. But he's just all around great kid. One day I got a call from his school, and I had to go pick him up because he couldn't walk. So we knew something was wrong. Took him to the ER. They did an MRI, and that's when they saw the tumor along his spinal cord. An oncologist who recognized what she saw advised that they scan upward. And when they did that, they found the source at the base of the brain. Cameron, we found, had a specific type of medulloblastoma, and Cameron, unfortunately, had the worst type. Thank goodness through the research, they learned that there was a specific type of treatment for Cameron's specific cancer that they were able to implement, and it was very effective. The way he responded was it's still amazing. It's like the sun slowly rising. And when you look at from when he first came, it's like the sun rising, just better, better, and better. One of his nurses nicknamed him the boy or the kid with the magic smile. Trust me, that's stuck in his brain, and I think he smiles more, and he says, I got that magic smile. And Cameron actually helped us to lighten up a bit. He never once complained, ever. I never forget the time on our way to get some radiation. He wakes up in the morning, he jumps out the bed, and he stretches, and he says, radiation, here we come. You know, and that attitude and his optimism got him through treatment. You know, he just had a really, really good, positive outlook that made everybody else around him kind of rise to his level.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lee Greenwood, and I'm very excited to be here today to host the first Warriors for Hope fundraising event to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Warrior to Citizen. St. Jude is known for finding cures and saving children, and the patients and families never receive a bill thanks to the donations of people like you. Warrior to Citizen helps military service personnel and first responders cope with the long-term effects of trauma that causes stress on them and their families. I sincerely encourage you to visit the Warriors for Hope website at warriorsforhope.events. That's warriors with the number 4 hope.events, and contribute to help these two organizations continue their fine work. We originally planned to have an on-location event with food, tablecloths, and all other things that makes these social fundraising programs so much fun. Then the COVID-19 pandemic came along and changed our lives. Everyone stayed at home, restaurants closed. Well, you know the rest. I had big plans for touring this year as well, but now I'll probably have to get the guys in the band to help me jumpstart the tour bus because it's been sitting for so long. You're going to hear from a wonderful lineup of people today. People who have overcome adversity against great odds. People whose lives have been changed by the generosity of others. And people whose examples of leadership and social responsibility have made a positive difference, not only in their local communities, but far beyond. Our first guest on the Warriors for Hope event is 12-time Grammy Award-winning recording star and songwriter, CeCe Winans. If you haven't heard her sing before, you've really missed an opportunity. In the music world, she's a legend and one of the top-selling gospel recording stars in history, right there with Mahalia Jackson. A great talent and a friend of mine. Here's CeCe Winans to offer a few words and then sing the national anthem.
Hi, I'm CeCe Winans, and I'm so proud to be here today in support of our veterans and in support of the kids at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Both causes are very near and dear to my heart. Giving and supporting these causes is one of the many, many things that make our country so strong and so special. It's an honor for me to be a part of this event by providing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you so much for your support and for your giving. God bless the work of St. Jude, and God bless Warrior to Citizen.
Next up to speak is Rocky Bleier. You probably know Rocky as a four-time Super Bowl champion with those dominant Pittsburgh Steelers teams of the 1970s. But you may not know that after his rookie season with the Steelers, he was drafted and sent to Vietnam, where he was wounded in action. Doctors told him he might never walk again, much less play football. Well, he proved them wrong, and he wrote a book about his experience fighting back, the Rocky Bleier story. It was also the subject for a made-for-TV movie. I'll let him tell you a little about his comeback story and why Warrior to Citizen is so important to him. Here is Purple Heart and Bronze Star veteran, Rocky Bleier.
Hey, thank you very much for that introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you as well to this virtual fundraiser for Warriors for Hope. And talking about Warriors for Hope, you know, the one thing I've come to learn is that the one business that we're all in, no matter what we may do, is that we're really all in the hope business. Think about it. I mean, no man is an island. We didn't get to where we are today by ourselves. We got here because of someone, something, an opportunity. We got here because somebody cared. We got here because of a teacher, a mentor, a parent. We got here because of a drill sergeant, a coach. We got here because somebody pushed us through a door, kicked us in the rear end, pulled us along. We got here because somebody cared. And all our lives, if you think about it, are built on hope, that little kernel of belief that we could accomplish something in our lives. And sometimes that kernel gets lost. It happened to me when I was in the field hospital after I got wounded twice in Vietnam. Had an IV morphine drip, and the thoughts that were going through my mind of why me, now what, where am I gonna go? I had something, you took it away from me. Where is my future in all of this? Feeling sorry for myself, across from me was a young soldier who was a triple amputee, lost his left arm and both legs. And every day that I was in that ward, the aides would come to take him to therapy, and he'd grab that little trapeze that swung over his bed, and he'd swing his torso into his wheelchair, and they'd push him out. And he made sure that he would stop at every bed in the ward, and it wasn't a big ward. And he'd stop at my bed, and he'd say, "Hey, how are you doing today? I mean, you look better today than you did yesterday when you got here, because let me tell you this, yesterday you looked like crap. Now listen, we got some good docs here. They're going to take care of you, and we'll get you out of here, and I'll see you back in the real world one of these days." And I thought, wow. I mean, if anybody could be embittered with their lot in life, it would be that young soldier. But yet he chose to make a difference. Yet he chose to have a positive attitude. And I thought, I mean, if he could have an attitude like that, what about me? I'm going to walk someday. I finally got a little courage. A couple of weeks later was at Tokyo at the hospital there. And I asked my physician about my future, whether or not I could come back and play this game of football once again because of the injuries I sustained. I did a slight chuckle, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're going to have a normal life. You're going to be able to do the things that normal people do, but just don't expect to get back into a gridiron. He said, because you just won't have the strength nor the flexibility to do the things that are necessary to be a running back in the NFL. For see, what he had formulated from his point of view, from his stream of information, correct or not in his diagnosis, was a perception about my ability. But as my authority figure, he just sucked that hope right out. And it happens to us. But it's really up to us as individuals, you, because we can make a difference and we can change that attitude. 2 weeks later, after I heard that message, I got a postcard to mail, simple postcard. Had 2 lines on it, said this: Rock, team's not doing well. We need you. Art Rooney, owner of the team. Wow, somebody needed me. No, they didn't really need me. Somebody just took the time to care, to reach out. And that's what this virtual fundraiser is all about. Bringing information to you about Warriors for Hope and making a difference and an impact in somebody's life. Thank you.
Rocky Bleier, what a true sports legend and a national hero. Rock, thank you for everything you've done to help other warriors return to a normal life after so much trauma.
Thanks, Lee. There are a lot of nice things over on the auction, including my autographed number 20 Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. No Super Bowl ring, just the jersey. Now, I'd like to introduce you to retired Colonel Rick White. Colonel White is very devoted to the military and has always been a frontline soldier, serving side by side with those he commanded. He is now the director and chairman of the board of Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame. He enlisted in the Army as a private and volunteered for the Airborne Infantry and was then commissioned a second lieutenant. Colonel White says his greatest honor was being the commander of 2 brigades, 2 battalions, 6 companies, and 3 platoons, ranging in size from 40 to 2,200 soldiers. He is truly a leader among men and women. Warriors for Hope is proud to introduce Colonel Rick White.
Hello. My name is Rick White, and I've been asked by the organizers of Warrior for Hope event to say a few words about St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and Warrior to Citizen. These 2 wonderful charities have teamed up, and I hope to share with you their similar missions of supporting families that are undergoing severe physical and mental challenges, which all too often and sadly result in trauma, brokenness, and despair. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and the Warrior to Citizens are impressive and selfless organizations that allow me to tell you a little about each one of them, for they both demonstrate in a very profound and true manner love in action. For 31 years, it was my honor to serve in the defense of our great country as a soldier. Now in retirement from the Army, it is my privilege to serve as the director of the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame. In both of these careers of calling, I have been richly blessed to be able to serve others on a daily basis. Being able to serve others is why the missions of both the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and the Warrior to Citizens are so appealing to me, for they both are all about serving others. What a wonderful and peaceful world it would be if all the citizens of the earth possessed that same desire and passion to selflessly give back. If you research as to why the founder of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, Danny Thomas, chose St. Jude as the name for the hospital, you will discover that in addition to Jude being one of Jesus' original 12 apostles, he preached the gospel with a special and great passion, and often in the most difficult circumstances. For this, he was martyred for his beliefs in 65 AD in Beirut, Lebanon. In the 12th century, Jude became the first apostle to be canonized and thus became the patron saint of hope and impossible causes. No doubt, in the early 1950s, it must have seemed to Danny Thomas his passion and desire to help those that were very much in need appeared to be truly a impossible task. Therefore, how fitting that St. Jude, the patron saint of hope and impossible causes, fits perfectly to be the ideal namesake for this organization whose mission is to, quote, advance cures and means of prevention for pediatric catastrophic diseases through research and treatment. No child is denied treatment based on race, religion, or a family's ability to pay. Giving hope to impossible causes is what St. Jude's is all about. And for where else can a family in need come up with the average per year of $350,000 for the wonderful services that are provided for their child's hospital care? In a similar manner, we see that same focus and undaunted passion of helping others when we hear the mission statement of Warrior to Citizen. And I quote, Warrior to Citizen is dedicated to helping veterans and their families deal with the effects of combat after deployment. We help them win the emotional and spiritual battles they face after war. As a young United States Army infantry officer, I served for 2 years in combat in Vietnam. Now, as the father of an Army Ranger who is currently on his 11th combat deployment to the Middle East and who was seriously wounded by an improvised explosive device in Iraq in 2003, I can attest firsthand that warriors do have to deal with the effects of that unnatural experience called combat. There are emotional and spiritual battles that must be faced and dealt with after the war. That is why Warriors to Citizen is so vitally important to those that are having to deal with the aftermath of war. These two charities provide the hope and resources that these patients and families so desperately need. Again, these two selfless charities truly show love in action, for they take away one major stress that those that they serve, because the family or the veteran never receives a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food. What a blessing indeed. The St. Jude's Research Hospital and the Warriors to Citizens are making a huge difference, and that is why it is so important that we, all of us, generously help them financially so that they can continue their vital work and their never-ending mission. In closing, I am reminded of two Bible verses. One of these verses comes from the Old Testament, and the other comes from the New Testament. From the Old Testament, in Isaiah 6:8, we read about two questions, which are followed immediately by a firm and quick answer. The two questions are this: whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And the immediate response is, here am I, send me. From the New Testament, a verse we probably are all familiar, John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. To me, these two verses carry the message about what we are to do for others. Said in another way, if not us, who? If not now, when? These two charities provide a perfect way to do for others, and now let us dedicate ourselves to making a difference. May God bless you and yours. May He bless the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and the Warrior to Citizen. And may He continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
There are plenty of valuable and fun things for you to bid on, and all of the proceeds will go to Warrior to Citizen and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Hey, how is my autograph guitar doing in the auction? Oh, come on, folks. We can do better than that. Let's raise some money today. Next up on our program is retired two-star General Doug Carver. Doug is a former Army Chief of Chaplains. and he currently manages over 3,500 chaplains as the executive director at the North American Mission Board, an organization he helped found. He's also on the board of Warrior to Citizen. General Carver has done so much to help military personnel and first responders to deal with the long-term effects of trauma they've experienced. He's seen firsthand the challenges our military service members, as well as St. Jude families, face on a daily basis. I'm not sure whether I should call him General or Reverend, but I'm sure he'd probably answer to both. Here is Doug Carver.
Hello, I'm Chaplain Major General Retired Doug Carver, United States Army, having served previously as the Army Chief of Chaplains from 2007 to 2011. I also had the humble opportunity to serve our nation for 38 years in uniform. It gives me a great privilege and a humble honor to come and speak for just a few moments about two great charities that support our wonderful families here in the United States: St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Warrior to Citizen. You know, this year marks the 20th anniversary of the attacks of 9/11. Our brave troops have fought the longest war by an all-volunteer military force in the history of our great nation. And like all wars, our troops have come home with the various wounds of war. We've had over 7,000 killed in action. We've had tens of thousands of amputees. And then we've also had hundreds of thousands of our young men and women who have come home with the invisible wounds of war caused by post-traumatic stress, mild traumatic brain injury, and moral injury. One of the wonderful things about Warrior to Citizen is that it's one of those organizations that does its very best to meet the spiritual, moral, physical, emotional, relational needs of our great troops. Let me start off with just one story about why this is so very valuable of a resource. Some years ago, I was in an airport in Memphis, Tennessee, and noticed a young man with his back to me. He had on a U.S. Army jacket. I walked up to him to thank him for his service, and as he turned around to me, he had a terribly disfigured face. Obviously looked like he had been burned or something had occurred. So I told him thanks, and as I was walking away, his mother came up and tapped me on the shoulder, and she said, "Chaplain, please pray for my son." And I said, "Of course, I've noticed the wounds in his face." She said, "No, those aren't from combat. Those are the times that he has, because of the emotional and the mental pain, the trauma that he's experienced from his wartime situation, he continues to jump into fires." You know, that has continued to blaze on my soul since that very moment. Looking for opportunities for us to continue to minister to treat our wonderful warriors who, as a result of their combat experience, are looking for ways to come back home. That's why I'm glad today to support an organization and a charity like Warrior to Citizen. Here's an organization among the tens of thousands of veteran treatment agencies that, in my opinion, has probably stands at the top because of its holistic treatment of our veterans and their families, looking at them from a physical, mental, emotional, and a spiritual perspective. I've also personally observed the fact that our veterans, as a result of this particular ministry of Warrior to Citizen, is able to improve communication between the veteran and his family members, is able to bring resilience and healing and strength in those relationships, and in many respects making our veterans even more combat ready as they go and face the task of their continued military service. And most of all, that they might come home to their loved ones. And so in closing, I'd like to just leave you with a verse from the prophet Jeremiah. It basically said in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, "I know the plans that I have for you, plans that are good, not evil, plans for a future and a hope." Today, as you either contribute or even refer individuals to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital or Warrior to Citizen, I can assure you that you are bringing a future and a hope to a veteran, a first responder, and their family members. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you so much, General Carver. I respect and admire you. As the General says, the long-term effects of trauma can be devastating. So please help us out by donating today. Rocky Bleier and Doug Carver, man, those guys are a hard act to follow. But our next guest is up to that challenge. Rick Shadyac is President and CEO of ALSAC, the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. He is the only nonprofit executive to ever receive the Responsible CEO of the Year award. His team has set all sorts of fundraising records, but most importantly, their work is supporting vital medical research that is saving children's lives. Please welcome Richard Shadyac.
My name is Rick Shadyac, and I have the privilege of serving as the President and Chief Executive Officer of ALSAC, the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Thank you so much for being with us, virtual though it is. I truly wish that we could be together to celebrate all you and your community are doing to help our kids and families. But I believe this is one of the most important things about the life-saving mission of St. Jude. Its ability to unite people from all walks of life, despite what else might be dividing the rest of the world. At this time, with the pandemic putting a halt to all of our in-person events, it's more imperative than ever that we unite to help the more than 200,000 children around the world who will be diagnosed with cancer in the coming year. But sadly, nearly an additional 200,000 more won't be diagnosed at all. They will succumb to their disease without their families ever knowing why. But we know it's unacceptable that even one child dies from cancer. And with your help and the help of thousands more like you around the country, we will change the odds, just like we've done in this country, where the survival rate now tops 80%. We've made a commitment through St. Jude Global, in partnership with the World Health Organization, to raise the survival rates for 6 of the most common types of childhood cancer, from less than 20% to 60% around the world by 2030. And yes, in the midst of a global pandemic. They'll say it can't be done, just as they told our founder, Danny Thomas, when he promised to open a specialty children's research hospital for all kids, regardless of their race, religion, or economic status. They told Danny Thomas it was a task that would break his heart. Well, just look at what it's become. A place that's had a huge impact on survival rates for kids with cancer. A place that fills our hearts with love and empathy. An oasis where families in their darkest hours find comfort and care. All because of supporters like you. So thank you from all of us at ALSAC and St. Jude for coming together in the safest manner for our kids and for all you do in support of our mission. God bless you all and be well.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is on the cutting edge of treatment and research for childhood cancer, and they see over 7,500 patients in a year. And the families of these patients never pay anything for travel, food, or hotels. Did you hear what I said? St. Jude is doing research in so many areas, including gene therapy, bone marrow transplants, chemotherapy, and the list goes on and on. What St. Jude does today could help a child you know tomorrow. We could talk about St. Jude all day, but the best way you can learn about what goes on there is to hear it from a family that has experienced the skilled care of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's a wonderful place filled with so much love, compassion, and care.
Keegan is a little ball of fire, and the fire comes out the top of her head with her red hair. She just loves life. She was barely a year old, and each night she would wake up and she would be screaming in pain. So I would ask her, "What is wrong?" And all she would do is just pat her leg. And after 6 months, and it was 18 doctor's visits, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The main thing that I wanted to know was, is this cancer curable? And is she going to survive? Keegan, in the very beginning, she was weak, she was tired, she was sick of feeling the pain that she was feeling. It's awful to see a child go through it. I remember when Keegan had been through 4 weeks of treatment. Keegan's oncologist told us that any adult would have already given up, but Keegan hadn't. She just fought right through it. When you're given a childhood cancer diagnosis, hope is lacking. But coming to St. Jude, they were my foundation for getting my hope back and knowing that Keegan was going to be okay. Seeing the transformation of Keegan over the last 2 years has been such a joy to see. From the very beginning, where she was pushing around a little stroller with her fluids in it. Now she is the child that's running the halls laughing and just having a blast. She puts a smile on, and as long as she's got her princess shoes or her princess dress, she can face the world and show everybody else what true strength is.
The work that St. Jude does is just amazing, and hearing this story tugs at our heartstrings. No family can afford the expenses that a traditional hospital might charge. So, help us help St. Jude and Warrior to Citizen do what they do through donations such as yours. Please donate on the website today. Don't forget about the online auction that is in progress. We're displaying the graphic there for you in front of the screen. You can do a little bidding and listen at the same time. Our next guest is the very definition of a servant leader. John Stegeman is CEO of Whitecap, previously known as HD Supply. John has led the company through times of growth, times of challenge, and times of transition. He leads by example, and he believes companies should take a proactive approach to helping people with long-term needs, people like those we are supporting through this event. Please join me in welcoming John Stegeman.
Hello, my name is John Stegeman, Chief Executive Officer of Whitecap, headquartered here in Norcross, Georgia. For those of you who are not familiar with us, Whitecap is a supplier of concrete specialty construction and safety products and services for professional contractors in the United States and Canada. We are also a proud national partner of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and a strong supporter of our military and veteran communities. I am truly honored to be given the opportunity to address you all today regarding the critical role that the business community and its leaders play in creating a culture of giving back. I have witnessed firsthand the power we have in bringing the incredible work of organizations like St. Jude to life through awareness, partnership, and engagement. Once you begin championing this work as an organization and a leader, you will quickly see that while it's easy to have the heart and the wish, in practice it takes hard work, daily commitment, and intentional action to have an impact. Simply put, creating a culture of giving back does not happen overnight. At Whitecap, it was more than a decade ago that we began our journey to discover the soul of our corporate social responsibility. And after years of work and commitment, we are at the point where our efforts grow naturally every year. So, how did Whitecap come to champion St. Jude and make serving others an integral part of our culture? Any business initiative or commitment, whether charitable or otherwise, needs to authentically reflect who you are as an organization in order to be truly successful. More than 10 years ago, as we were growing our Whitecap business as part of HD Supply, we sat down as a leadership team to discuss our areas of passion. We polled our organization and heard straight from our associates. I am very proud to say that St. Jude Children's Research Hospital became our clear and natural partner. When you tap into the passions of your associates and combine that collective passion for a cause, there is no limit to what you can do from there. Once you've found a cause that reflects the passions of your collective organization, you still play a critical role as a leader. Your organization and people look to you to set the example. That's what being a leader is all about. Most importantly, this example goes beyond words. Talking the talk is the easy part. All of us feel a passion for great causes since we're taking part in this event today. And I'm sure many of us could talk in length about why we feel that way. Organizations and people are inspired to act when action is shown in return. We as leaders set the example. Give back yourself and champion that with humility and sincerity. Show others what you think giving back really looks like, whether that is monetary donations or donations of time and your energy. Actions are harder than words, which is why it makes all the difference. This concept of walk the walk does not just apply to business leaders. We must empower everyone in an organization to act as leaders in their own right. Everyone is a leader for somebody, whether that is their team, their family, or other members of the community. When you empower others to act as such, there is no limit to the reach we can have together. Sometimes this means you simply get out of the way and let others shine. Champion those who champion your organization's cause. The entire Whitecap leadership team and I give rewards and recognition for those who live out Whitecap's commitment to St. Jude. In addition to formal recognition programs, we share stories of our associates giving back in our company communication and take every opportunity to shine a light on examples of our culture at our best. And don't forget, there's no perfect way to give back. It's important to champion all types of giving and allow associates the creativity and flexibility to bring the cause to life. Whitecap as an organization coordinates an annual Halloween pinup campaign and other formal events to raise funds for St. Jude. But a couple of examples of our Whitecap associates showing creativity in giving back to St. Jude include coordinating a customer appreciation golf tournament in Littleton, Colorado, chili dog sales in Omaha, Nebraska, a skirt steak party in Stockton, California, hat sales in Arlington, Texas, and creating associate-made art that we used at an auction for St. Jude with our suppliers. These are just a couple of examples. These were all events and initiatives that were associate-driven, associate-led, and reflect the many talents and passions of our team. My last recommendation is to remember that this work never ends. Creating a culture of giving back is like growing a tree. It takes picking the perfect spot, growing it with love and care, and tending to it over time. At a certain point, the tree will grow on its own, but it still takes constant nurturing to ensure it reaches its greatest heights. What has this resulted in at Whitecap? Since 2017 alone, Whitecap has collectively raised approximately $1.5 million and counting for St. Jude. While monetary support is critical, in many ways, it's the education, awareness, and reach that our business creates through our corporate social responsibility efforts that compounds our impact and creates continual future return on those efforts. On behalf of Whitecap, I thank everyone for being here today and hope you feel inspired to lead your business and your associates in your commitment to giving back. Thank you again. Whitecap stands shoulder to shoulder with you in this critical work.
So I want to close out the event today with a song. It's a song I wrote back in 1983 called God Bless the USA. I always wanted to write a song about America, but at the time, I was touring 300 days per year, and we were on our 4th or 5th album for MCA, and there was just very few moments I had to myself. So I called my producer and told him, I have written a song I want to include on my next album. And after hearing it, my producer, Jerry Crutchfield from Paducah, Kentucky, agreed. I'm so happy about the way Americans have accepted my song, and proud that it continues to have a place in bringing Americans together. So here is my American anthem, God Bless the USA. If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I really hope you've enjoyed today's event. And before you leave, please visit warriorsforhope.events. Make your gift to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Warrior to Citizen. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you.